will make America great again. Thank you, Arizona. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
In the far distant land of common sense, a place where we all once lived, you'll find the Conservative College with Professor Toto. It is here where the foundational principles of our great republic are still taught and true patriots are still educated in the hallowed halls of this school of hope. Just like the iconic puppy from The Wizard of Oz, who found great joy in pulling back the curtain on the lies of the wizard, so does Professor Toto. Grab your seats and welcome to the Conservative College. Class begins now.
Grab your bean bags. Come on, everybody. It's time for class. Hello, hello, hello. I am your humble, neighborhood, friendly, not so fluffy Professor Toto is in the house, everybody, all the way from the beautiful Gulf Coast of Mississippi, just outside of New Orleans, Louisiana. It is 8 o'clock Central. Yes, it is. And it is time for this party to get started. I hope you've had a great day. I have missed you guys. It's been several days since we've been on, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. A whole lot to talk about. Good evening. I hope it is wonderful in your world, wherever you're watching me from. Why don't you go ahead and chime in real quick on the chat and tell me what state you're watching from. I love knowing how many states we reach with the Conservative College, how many nations we reach. Good evening to everyone on Rumble. Good evening, Old Moonstones and Lady Fish. Good evening to all of you on Rumble and on YuckTube and Fakebook and FHTV. Hello, Noel from Michigan. Hello, North Carolina, Texas, Virginia. Hello, Australia, Michigan, Alabama, Pennsylvania. Cody from Wyoming, Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, New York, Miami, Ohio, Louisiana, Virginia, Alabama, Alaska, Washington State, Tennessee. Wow, wow, wow. They're all New Jersey, New York. Wow. Good evening, everybody. Lord, they're here from everywhere. Maine, Cheryl Girl is in the house. Virginia, Julie Rowland. Patricia Marks from Lafayette, Louisiana. Julius Baker. New Hampshire, Sandra. Wow, look at Southeast Louisiana. Joseph Bevanetto. I should have known that was South Louisiana. St. Louis, Missouri. California, Northern California. Coachella Valley, California. Kokomo, Indiana. Monica McCain. Hello, Rose Thomas from Kentucky. And Shane Sewell from beautiful Gulfport, Mississippi. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Some of you are watching on Roku. Let's see how many we have over on Roku tonight. If you don't have our Roku channel, you can download it right now. First Harvest Ministries. Our Roku channel, First Harvest Ministries. And you can find us on Roku. Roku. Let's see. YouTube, hello. FHTV. Hello, FHTV. Let's see. On Roku, we have 4,200 students tonight watching us on Roku. And we are, let's see, don't know about FHTV. Let me see how many viewers we have over there tonight. I love seeing how many students we have in class. That way we can keep up with our growing audience that continues to grow. We currently have 5.1 thousand viewers on FHTV. Wow. Well, good evening, FHTV. Good to see you tonight. All right. Everybody, let's go across the classroom. Let's turn our phones off. Everybody turn your phones off now. Nothing's more important than Toto tonight. I'm playing, but anyway, turn them off. All right, and let's go over to the chalkboard on the other side of the classroom. I'm going to walk over there and let's look at the board. Ready? See what tonight class is. A huge I told you so concerning John Trump. Number 2, bye-bye U.S. Steel. Number 3, media bias covering up the perverts. Number 10, you're going to love this. Tonight, I'm going to play you a montage of the worst media moments of 2023. You don't want to miss that. That will come right after our first commercial break tonight. Then Nikki Haley, the disconnected liar. And then victory in Virginia for religious rights. The agenda of evil for America's children. And then finally, our monologue for tonight, freedom from the fear of tomorrow. It's going to be a great class tonight. And we would love for you to join us. Hey, if you have not gotten your Roar 24, it is time. It is time for you to order Roar 24. It's that time, guys. It's 2024. I mean, pretty much right now. We're there. So it is time to bust out the gear. There's the QR code where you can order Trump 24 exclusively from Professor Toto. Only place you can get it right there. We have anything you want with that logo, Roar 24. Start sporting it everywhere you go. You do not want to miss it, okay? Get your Roar 24. And I'm happy to announce tonight, 3 more pounds is gone from my body thanks to our supplements we have been taking. I'm so grateful to have 40 pounds off in the last 4 months. And there's the QR code. Boom, right there. If you would like to get some of that fluff off of you, I've not changed my diet. I've not done anything except take those supplements. You're more than welcome to check them out. Well, great news tonight on the I Told You So segment of our broadcast. I told you so. Oh, I told you so. And I did. How many of you remember last week, I believe it was last Thursday night, when I taught you that Donald Trump would remain on the Colorado ballots? And do you remember why? Does anybody remember why I said he would be on the ballots? Anybody? Do you remember me telling you and reading to you how that all he has to do is file an appeal, that the court doesn't even have to accept it? He just has to file an appeal before January the 5th. Anybody remember that? Can I see some high fives? Anybody throw me a high five if you remember me saying that. Now, if you don't remember it, don't lie. But if you remember, then I would love to see your hand. There we go. Julius Baker, Judy Colson, Stacy Olson. That's right, because it was all a scam. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has just announced that he will be filing an appeal of the Colorado Supreme Court. But he's decided to wait until after the holidays. Yeah, he's going to wait till after Christmas and after New Year's Day. As a matter of fact, he's decided he's going to file January the 4th. Brilliant, Mr. Trump. Brilliant. So he will be on the Colorado ballots because somebody told him what Toto said. I'd like to believe that anyway. So anyway, he will be on the ballot because he will file his appeal on January the 4th. No time at all to be denied or accepted. That's a beautiful idea. Beautiful, Mr. Trump. We love your brilliance because, see, when Donald Trump finally, when he gets turned down at the circuit court, and they'll deny him because you got two Democrats there. But when he gets up to the Supreme Court, what a lot of people don't realize is John Roberts has already ruled about what I taught you about Trump not being an officer of the United States of America. He ruled in 2010, and he explained in an article called Free Enterprise that people do not vote for officers of the United States. He said in Article 2, officers of the United States, John Roberts wrote this in 2010, is commonly understood in the Constitution to refer to appointed officials. And to the extent that the president or the vice president are included as an officer, it would be spelled out in the Constitution. So John Roberts has already written this in 2010. It's an article in Free Enterprise. You're welcome to look it up and read it. So that is my big I told you so. Thank you, Carmine Dorsey. Thank you. I appreciate it, darling. Thank you so much. Well, let's say, let me see if I can pull up a graphic for you. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen with you. So this is not so great news in the United States of America. In New York, small New York town, it's called the Village of Elion, is devastated because a gun plant, 270 jobs are now lost at Remington Arms. 270 jobs, 80 miles west of Albany. The residents are mourning the departure of gunmaker Remington Arms after 2 centuries of continuous operation. 2 centuries. 2 centuries. They were shocked by the announcement. The mayor told them, in my opinion, it's unfortunate and extremely unprofessional. And there's another one bites the dust in Bidenomics. 270 families now. 270 families. You know why? Because New York State is not friendly to hunters and sportsmen. Congratulations, Democrats. You destroyed another company with your stupidity. What a sad article. I read it last night. Such a sad, sad article because of stupid ideas. Stupid, unconstitutional ideas. But ladies and gentlemen, it gets worse. A lot worse. U.S. Steel, founded by Andrew Carnegie and J.P. Morgan, is no longer owned by citizens of the U.S. U.S. Steel, the Pittsburgh Steel Company, that's over there in Uncle Fester's area. Steel producer that played a key role in our industrialization was sold to Japan for $14.1 billion. So now the United States no longer makes United Steel. Welcome to democratic lunacy. Welcome, because that's exactly what it looks like. I want to show you tonight. Tell you what, let's hang tight on that. Let me move that down. Give me a second. I'm going to move that down in my agenda for a little bit later. Y'all not ready for that hard stuff yet. I always have to start off with the light, easy stuff, get y'all built up to the, to the drum roll. But I would like to show you real quick just how out of touch a certain lady is by the name of Nikki Haley. Tricky Nikki is what I call her now. Tricky Nikki. She's a liar. I'll show you that in just a moment. But here she is in an interview, and I want you to listen to what she says about Donald Trump. And I'm going to show you how what she's saying is exactly right for all the wrong reasons.
It's facts. I think President Trump was the right president at the right time. I agree with a lot of his policies. But the truth of everything is, rightly or wrongly, chaos follows him. Chaos follows him. Everybody knows that. And with our country divided and the world on fire, we
Governor,
can't
it does
live
seem
in
that
chaos
people
anymore.
like that.
She's exactly right. Chaos follows President Trump. What you don't get, Tricky Nikki, that's why we love him. Because the only time you have chaos following you is when you're stirring up chaos. When you are moving the equilibrium of the elites, it creates chaos. Do you know what happens when an earthquake happens? It's because two platonic pieces of the earth are rubbing against one another, creating chaos. That's exactly what we voted for, Tricky Nikki, was chaos. And that's why you will never be president. Because you don't understand. If we were looking for someone that did not cause chaos, we would get Mike Pence, because he don't even cause good chaos. So that's how disconnected rhinos are with our movement. They really believe that we need someone that will lower the chaos. But what they don't realize, without the chaos, we get nothing accomplished and nothing done. Now, let me show you Tricky Nikki, how much of a liar she is. Hang tight.
I would not run if President Trump ran. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president. I will not now, not ever, support raising the gas tax. Let's increase the gas tax by 10 cents over the next 3 years. A huge issue that I'll deal with as soon as I get there is social media. They need to verify every single person on their outlet and I want it by name. I never said government should go and require anyone's name.
That's false. I think China's been a really great friend of ours. Yes, I view China as an enemy. That was not what I intended to say. I do not think we need to pull money from the UN. The UN, the only thing is we would defund the UN as much as possible.
When a 12-year-old child in this country, assigned female at birth, says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy, what should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it. I think there should be federal involvement. You should not have any gender-altering anything done to a child before the age of 18.
I would not run if President Trump ran.
Tricky Nikki, that's exactly who she is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching me anywhere in Iowa, New Hampshire, wherever you are tonight, do not fall for the lies. She is Tricky Nikki. Nikki's not even her real name, but whatever. It's some kind of Indian name that she's hiding from. But the point is, she is Tricky Nikki. And look, when I come back right after this quick commercial break, I'm going to play for you a montage you're going to love. We've put together the 10 worst media moments in the mainstream media for 2023. You're going to want to watch this. It is telling. I'm telling you, it is telling. So I'm going to run to this. Hold on. Before I do, I want to say hello to Tamara Ames. Tamara is our newest member of the Patriots Buying Club. She decided to jump on board with us and start buying all of her household products from Professor Toto's Patriots Buying Club so that Walmart doesn't get her money anymore. And I want to thank you tonight, Tamara, for being our newest member of the Patriots Buying Club. We're very grateful. When I come back, the top 10 worst media moments of 2023.
When you spend your money at these mega corporations, where it's going? Are you aware that your hard-earned money is being used to support political corruption, which leads to poor federal leadership, hurting our economy, contributing to the overall detriment of our society? This is heavy stuff to think about, I know, but it's time we fought back. Introducing Professor Toto's The Patriots Buying Club. Here, we are a club that gives you the power to invest in companies that uphold patriotic and conservative values your family can respect. Rather than spending your money with these major corporations, we've partnered with a direct consumer company that offers over 400 high-quality, sustainable, and effective products that can be delivered fast directly to your front door. So many patriots across America has joined us in this walkaway movement. Now it's your turn. Go to www.buybuywalmart.com to join Professor Toto's The Patriots Buying Club today.
The left, full of somber support.
I think really this should be a somber moment. It's a sad day for America.
I think it's sad.
It's sad. Sad day for America.
It's a sad day.
It's just really sad.
Sadness, I think.
It is a serious night and a somber moment for our country.
That this is a really sad moment. Peter, it looked to me right away, and they later confirmed it, that there was a sandbag there. It was a windy day. It was holding down the teleprompter stands, and clearly not well placed.
He tripped over I guess there was like a sandbag.
Yeah.
And the writer going crazy, I tripped in my own house. I mean, it's not easy.
Same.
So what do you think it is about Joe Biden? Is he so enraging to the right because he is so normal?
I fell in the hallway because I was wearing high heels and walking too fast. He got up a lot faster than I did.
I also. It's painful to watch people trip.
It's the worst.
And in public.
Are you kidding?
It is the worst.
And presidents do fall. They do. They trip and fall.
He kept the American economy from falling.
I mean, the president could do full handstands on the economy. It's just a fact. The numbers support that, whether he's a Democrat or Republican, whatever.
Well, I mean, there are some people who are at their best in their 80s. My mom was using a chainsaw and doing her best work in her 80s.
Nancy Pelosi without chainsaw.
Air raid sirens and no real guarantee of security.
As air raid sirens blared.
This was incredibly dramatic, Andrea. It was historic as well.
Historic, timely, and brave.
American presidents have made dramatic trips before. Nixon to China, Kennedy, Reagan to the Berlin Wall, and presidents have visited U.S. troops in war zones, but never like this.
To find a day of this kind of presidential bravery in a war zone, you've got to go all the way back to 1864.
Seeing the American president there, walking the streets of Kyiv while air raid sirens literally sounded in that moment about possible incoming fire from Russia.
With his aviators on to walk through in broad daylight in Kyiv.
The swagger of this trip.
The government in Gaza says the Israeli Defense Forces struck a hospital in the center of Gaza City.
An airstrike hit a Gaza City hospital, killing at least 500 people.
Where a hospital was caved in, killing hundreds and stranding an untold number under the concrete.
The deadliest Israeli airstrike ever.
An Israeli missile struck the hospital. Absolutely horrific loss of life.
This is not the first time violence has actually hit what's supposed to be, obviously, a place of healing.
Deadly explosion at a hospital in Gaza. Palestinian officials say hundreds were killed, and they're blaming Israel.
Now, Hamas is calling this a genocide.
200 to 300 people believed to be dead at this stage. Also many examples of, of civilian deaths caused directly by Israel. There's no doubt about it.
At minimum, 300 people are dead.
Egypt is saying it's very upset about this hospital bombing. The World Health Organization has strongly condemned the attack.
Today, the death toll rose significantly in a horrific attack in Gaza. 200 to 300 people were killed.
The Palestinians are talking about 500 dead.
We keep hearing things from Republicans like sweetheart deal.
This is not some sweetheart deal.
Well, I don't think it was a sweetheart deal.
There's no indication that he's getting a special or a sweetheart deal.
So is this a sweetheart deal? No, it's not.
So it does not appear that this is a sweetheart deal.
They focus on this and say, oh my God, two-tier standard of justice. He got a sweetheart deal. And you're like, guys, I mean, you just sound like morons.
If his last name was not Biden, I don't even think he would have been charged.
His name was Hunter Smith. He probably would not have been charged.
Based on what we have seen here, it seems like a more harsh disposition than most people will get.
So I actually think, Biden's kind of getting the short end of the stick on this because it's such a high-profile case.
But nothing has been found to be illegal with those poor decisions.
They can't name one crime that was committed. He committed no crime.
Bending over backwards to not show any favor, even any appearance of favor, to the president's son.
The attack on the whistleblower is never wise. It's never lawful.
And I'm not going to call them whistleblowers.
They don't deserve whistleblower protection. Each and every one of them has a strange history, has, guess what, Russian connections.
They always do. They weren't really whistleblowers at all. In fact, they weren't even credible witnesses.
2 or 3 people who are political operatives, but they're not whistleblowers. These guys
What was Venman? Never mind. I'm sorry. Y'all.
Are not whistleblowers, period.
Go back to so-called whistleblower. From the so-called whistleblowers.
See, so-called whistleblowers. So-called whistleblowers.
So-called whistleblowers.
So-called whistleblower.
So-called news reporters.
And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
Deprogramming that might work in other cases is it's obviously proven to be difficult.
That any exposure to children about LGBT people is automatically grooming.
How do you fix it? How do you undo it?
Well, at this point, it's deprogramming.
That's what we're being fed. People of other races are out to get you. We accept that. We get fed that. And so when that doorbell rings or the basketball comes into your yard, your first response is to pull that gun. It's a programming that's occurring. The deprogramming question is much tougher to answer.
I don't know how anyone else is surviving out here.
I can't go to the grocery store and get a week's worth of groceries without spending $300, $400.
Because everything is just astronomically expensive.
The everyday necessities that people take for granted, you can't afford them anymore.
Bidenomics, Biden's formula for strong economic growth from the bottom up. It's so much greater than even the experts in economic stuff expected it to be.
How are you feeling tonight? Are you feeling confident tonight? The Biden administration is crediting Bidenomics.
Bidenomics is changing their lives for the better.
Because real Americans are feeling the benefits of Bidenomics and how well the economy has been doing under Joe Biden.
If I were him, I'd actually be declaring victory. This economy is particularly good.
You look at the gas prices that came down. America is doing incredibly well.
Joe Biden did nothing, not even approximating improper, much less wrong or illegal.
Hunter Biden talked to his dad on the phone all the time. They talked basically every day. Sometimes Joe Biden would say hello to the people in the room if he popped in.
These were more of just cordial hello types of conversations. Business was never discussed on those calls, and that was more casual sort of check-ins, casual conversations.
The Hunter Biden story, the scandal, the this, the that, it's also the story of a father's love.
We should put this in context. This is a time when Beau Biden, the president's other son, was ill and then dying and then passed away.
Very fraught and sad time for the Biden family, and we know how important family is to the president.
People in your families, they're ne'er-do-wells. This is as old as time.
You know what we've seen? A lot of pictures that show you what addiction does to somebody, and a lot of noise to distract from Trump.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
You can't imagine the things that he's going to do.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah. That means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Fuhrer.
Using martial law against the American people. Create mass internment camps.
Throw everyone into Gitmo.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
Trump's very well armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
He's going to basically burn the house down.
The absolute destruction of the Justice Department as we know it.
Vote for Donald Trump may mean the last election that you ever.
Oh my God. All that's going to happen? Oh my God. He's going to assassinate generals and first ladies and oh my God. Anyway, that is the 10 worst media moments of the year. Oh man, what a year it has been. 3 years of fear. 3 years of constant gaslighting. Since y'all like that word so much, I'll use it for you. That is the new word, it seems. Now, let me show you what that media bias looks like. Are you ready? Hang tight. So I think it's this one right here. So how many remembers that Senate staffer that was getting real freaky in the Senate a few weeks ago? This is the headlines on NBC News. You know, it doesn't say degenerate caught in the sacred temple. No, it says Senate staffer alleged. Even though he's on video, bent over picking up trash, he's alleged by conservative outlets to have had sex in a hearing room is no longer employed. That's the headline, folks. That is the headline. Yeah. I'm trying to show you media bias because people think when we say that we're crazy. I'm showing you the evidence of it. Here's another one. Maybe y'all are not familiar with the trans activist Kendall Stevens. Let's show you the headlines there. Trans activist Kendall Stevens arrests sparks a MAGA uproar. That's right. This animal, this 37-year-old animal that raped and assaulted a child on Monday in Philadelphia, who is a prominent activist in the LBGT crazy community, literally molested a child. And the headlines, molesting children's no big deal anymore. Raping children's no big deal. This is the headline. That's the headline, folk. Trans activist Kendall Stevens arrest sparks MAGA uproar. Are you even serious? That's your headline? Who is that? Newsweek? Oh, I should have known. Y'all go to Newsweek and go to that little magnifying glass and type in Shane Vaughn. They got about 30 stories on me over there. Lord have mercy. That is the world we are now living in. Let me show you as I start meandering my way into my monologue this evening. Let me show you what the agenda is, just so you know. I want you to notice that this activist raped a child. Okay? Raped a child. And the headlines is that it upset MAGA. That's the headlines. The agenda is real. I want you to watch this video clip. Watch it closely to see one of the saddest videos that I've played this year. Then I'll come back and talk to you about this agenda of evil against America's children.
Today we choose to recognize, honor, love, and celebrate anyone here who would claim their identity publicly as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, pansexual, asexual, or any category that I've left out. This is Phoenix. You're a little shy. Do you want to tell everyone if you're a boy or a girl?
I just want to tell them that I'm a girl.
Okay, you can tell them that. Okay. Phoenix would like you to know that she's a girl and she prefers she and her pronouns. This way. May you be well, safe, and whole. We honor you exactly as you are. Good morning. Today we...
That's one thing I can't even make a joke about. That's heartbreaking. That's really heartbreaking. One of Yahweh's beautiful little boys that he created to be a boy has been told by his mother that he's a girl. And she's so very proud of him. That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking, but it's not unexpected because the agenda is set. Do y'all mind? I don't normally play a video twice. I want to play it again, only because I sometimes feel like people don't grasp how important our prayers are for the children of America.
Today we choose to recognize, honor, love, and celebrate anyone here who would claim their identity publicly as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, pansexual, asexual, or any category that I've left out. This is Phoenix.
I'm sorry.
You're a little shy. Do you want to tell everyone if you're a boy or a girl?
I just want to tell them that I'm a girl.
Okay, you can tell them that. Okay. Phoenix would like you to know that she's a girl and she prefers she and her pronouns.
This way. May you be well, safe, and whole. We honor you exactly as you are. Good morning.
My God.
Today we choose to recognize.
And then you got the congregation of the nuts out there talking about you are well, safe, and whole. No, somebody get that baby out of that congregation of degenerates. That little boy went up there and his mother told him exactly who to say he was. It's just heartbreaking. And they call us cultic. You're right, Tom Chambers. That is cult activity. When you take control of a child's mind. Boy, the question is, someone was just asking me for our weight loss supplements. Right there's the QR code. The question is, where did it all start? Does anybody in here remember? I'm 50 years old. I cannot remember until some 10 years ago, the very word trans even being in my vocabulary. It was not something we ever saw. It was not something, you're right, Lydia. Heartbreaking, Sister Lydia. He didn't even want to say it. And I never understood this language. This language. I don't understand, but I do know that in the year 2008, which would be about 15 years ago, there was a man running for office by the name of Hussein. And when he ran for office in 2008, here was his exact words. He said that he was not in favor of same-sex marriage. That's what Hussein Obama said in 2008. However, David Axelrod wrote in his book in 2015 that Obama lied to America, that there was a pretense that he was always for gay marriage. But he knew to win some of the Democrats, he had to say that. In 2011 is when the change happened in America. No longer would Barack Obama defend the Defense of Marriage Act. And that happened in 2011. And then in 2012, he repealed the military's don't ask, don't tell policy. And then he was the first president in U.S. history to openly support homosexual marriage in 2012. You do the math. That was basically 10 years ago. Your entire world has changed since that man took the oath of office. The whole world changed. How did it happen? How did it get from America to the world? I'll show you. It's a little bitty thing called money. Obama worked to normalize this lifestyle, this agenda in the United States. And then he used the State Department to funnel billions of dollars of your money, my money, and America's diplomatic corps to promote that lifestyle around the world. Now Barack Obama's out of office 15 years later, but his agenda is stronger than ever. As a matter of fact, the year he took office, the State Department added a little section. I want to talk to you about that section. I'm going I'm pulling the curtain back. That's what Toto does, right? We're reaching here, pulling the curtain back. You ask, when did it all start? I'm showing you. Look behind the curtain. That's what Toto does. Pulls it back to show you what's behind the curtain. What's behind the curtain is a little something, and I quote, called violence based on sexual orientation and gender identity. That section was added to the annual reports of the various countries of the world. Every year he gets reports on all the countries. Well, before he was president, there was never a section called violence based on sexual orientation and gender identity. He added that. Why? Before you get money from the United States of America, we want to see how you're doing in the sexual orientation department. In 2011, Obama signed a presidential memorandum. Somebody say, pull the curtain back. That's what I'm doing. He signed a presidential memorandum, and here's what it said: directing all agencies engaged abroad to ensure that U.S. diplomacy and foreign assistance would promote and protect the human rights of LGBT persons. It was with that memorandum the world changed. It was that memorandum that a fallen angel of perversion took over the mind of Barack Hussein Obama. And now you ask me how it went from the U.S. to around the world. I'm showing you. He directed every agency in foreign affairs to make sure that any money given would promote and protect human rights of the LGBT person. From that point on, fellow citizens, the U.S. has used its diplomatic power, which means your money, to vigorously advance this goal of destroying the children of the world. The president ordered that these overseas agencies, quote, strengthen existing efforts to effectively combat the criminalization by foreign governments of LGBT. Did you hear what I just said? He said, before we give money to any nation, they must decriminalize sodomy. Boy, what a devil. They must decriminalize transgenderism, because in many countries, it was a crime. In America, homosexuality was a crime. And immediately after he issued that, embassies around the world began organizing pride events in their host countries, even at the opposition of the people living in those host countries. Government funds flowed into these LGBT groups around the world because why? They now come under the umbrella of human rights funding. What does that mean when you come under human rights funding? You no longer have to give public disclosures of your money. When Obama left the White House, every bit of that was paused with a man named Donald John Trump. Every bit of that was paused, and not one more document went out of the White House advancing LGBT policies. During the Trump administration, they put a hold on all of that. As a matter of fact, the Trump administration tried to scale back the LGBT ideology completely in 2019 when they started a commission to examine which human rights to defend. In other words, Trump was trying to get us out, and that may be the very reason that the deep state got him out of there because there was a commission in his administration that was exploring which human rights to defend here in America and around the world. And in a second term, that commission would have fulfilled its objective of no longer calling LGBT human rights. When Joe Biden took power, immediately Obama's agenda back in full force. Maybe you see why the dark powers that be were so vociferously fighting to get their demons back in power. Just a few weeks after taking office, February the 4th, 2021, Biden issues a memorandum. There's not been one LGBT memorandum come out of the White House for 4 years. And here we get one. It says, what's the title of that memorandum? Advancing, not defending, advancing the human rights of lesbian, gay, trisexual, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex persons around the world. That's the title. How to advance it, not protect it. Oh, that we're way beyond protecting. Advancing. And not only that, it was given as a national security memorandum. Do you know what that means? When something is a national security memorandum, it means it is now a matter of national security. Now, more than just promoting the agenda, it's now America leading the charge to advance the agenda. He said, it shall be the policy of the United States to pursue an end to discrimination on the basis of blah, 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 blah. $4.1 billion Obama Biden has spent on promoting these policies. So whenever you see a video like this, you need to know where it started. You need to pull the curtain back and understand.
Today we choose to recognize, honor, love, and celebrate anyone here who would claim their identity publicly as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, pansexual, asexual, or any category that I've left out.
This is Phoenix.
You're
a little shy. Do you want to tell everyone if you're a boy or a girl?
I just want to tell them that I'm a girl.
Okay, you can tell them that. Okay. Phoenix would like you to know that she's a girl and she prefers she and her pronouns.
This way. May you be well, safe, and whole. We honor you exactly as you are.
Whew, that's where it all started. We're pulling back the curtain tonight. Everything is in the program. Listen to me. Everything is predictive programming. And that's what I'm right now. My monologue tonight is free from the fear of tomorrow. Many of you that watch me, you have been set free from the fear of tomorrow, but they don't want you free from that. I'm about to show you how they control you with fear, how they predict these things before they ever happen, so that they can plant the fear in you before it ever comes to pass. Before it ever happens, they need to put the fear in you first. You might recall something that I want to point out to you right now. Bear with me and tell me if you recall anything that I'm about to show you in regards to predictive programming. Very important.
There will be a surprise outbreak. Given, as you heard from the introduction, that I have been around for a while and have had the opportunity and the privilege and the pleasure of serving in 5 administrations, I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of growing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that. But also there will be a surprise outbreak. And I hope by the end of my relatively short presentation, you will understand why history.
So you were told exactly what was coming 3 months before it came. You were programmed. You were programmed. The fear was already in there. And since that day, the coronavirus crisis is ushering in a new world order, and it was all predicted. Just a few months later, COVID hysteria hits the headlines, and 3 years later, government-directed tech censorship continues from that prediction. In 2020, the World Economic Forum hosted a cyber attack simulation on the global financial system. In the same year, the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace released a report warning that the global financial system is vulnerable to cyber threats. Furthermore, from that study, they recommended a convergence of all intelligence agencies and banks from around the world to converge. And we saw that happen on January the 6th, 2021, when Bank of America, who is a member of the Carnegie Cyber Policy Initiative, shared private information with U.S. law enforcement agencies to go after protesters. What they did on January the 6th was already told should happen at that Carnegie meeting. What did Carnegie propose as a solution? Here it is: to merge all corporate banks, financial regulators, big tech, and the national security state. Now you see why small banks are going out of business. They want to bring all the money into a few large. If you've got money in a large bank now, get it out and get you to a small bank, or better yet, put it in gold and silver. They have already told you what is coming. And they concluded that report with these words, I quote, "One thing is clear. It's not a question of if a major incident will happen, but it is a promise it will, but when." Now, just a few days ago, you were told, not long ago, that there's another pandemic on the horizon.
We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
There is? Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
Okay. All right. There's going to be another pandemic, guys. So, I mean, that's from the so-called president. It's called fear. And the fear continues. It wants to control. Many of you watching me right now hardly will even leave your houses anymore because of the fear. But let me encourage you and remind you that there's another movie out right now, just came out, that's continuing the fear. They are predicting to you what's next. The name of the movie? It's on Netflix, called Leave the World Behind. And it was produced by none other than Hussein and Michael. And the fear and the distrust of ordinary people, the whole message of the movie, well, it said, don't trust white people. That's what the black folks said, don't trust white people. And there is a message being fomented in the brain of everyone that watches it, that in times of crisis, you cannot trust ordinary humans. No. You must distrust them. That way, we can censor them and limit your freedom. The fear arises out of a belief that only strong governments and global authorities can properly respond to imminent global crisis. And the corresponding idea that encourages resilience and autonomy and vaccine exemptions and preparedness among the citizenry is an impediment to saving the world. Let me break that down. In the movie, Leave the World Behind, you were taught one thing: humans are helpless. You were taught that there's no need in working together and being individual, autonomous, and, watching YouTube videos and trying to treat yourself and, No. Humans are helpless. You need a global government to protect you. In the movie, Leave the World Behind, here is what you were taught. You were taught to fear because you can't depend on your family to help you. That's right. The family in this movie, their name is the Sanfords, and they are dysfunctional. In the first scene of the movie, the family is on their drive to Long Island. Every member of the family in the movie is consumed by their phones or fiddling with the radio or earbuds in their ears listening to their MP4s, MP3s. The whole car ride is distraction filled, symbolic of the disunity of the American family. Both parents in this movie at one point flirt with the idea of cheating on one another. Gender roles are flipped on their heads in this movie, as the mother, Amanda, is the only one capable of taking action during a crisis. Meanwhile, the father, Clay, who is probably a model male feminist before the cyber attack, he's completely useless throughout the movie. Good old Clay, the father, completely useless. He's incapable of leading the family. The mama's leading the family. He doesn't own a weapon to protect his family with, the Second Amendment. No, he don't own a weapon. No, far too advanced for that. Wouldn't know how to use it if he did. He leaves his wife and children with strangers in this movie. At the same time, the son, Archie, is a porn addict, the little boy, and he's rude to his whole family. And the little sister, Rose, she's in love with Friends on television. She said that gives her comfort when she feels scared and hopeless. The television. Definitely not her family gives her comfort because she don't have a family. Rose said she gets more happiness and human connection from the show Friends than her own family. The Sanfords are not united. And in the wake of this disaster, what is the disaster? Exactly what they predicted. Cyber attack. And Michael and Hussein made a movie to tell you what's coming, but also to show you that your families are so messed up. Don't lean on them. Don't lean on your church. Lean on your government. At first, we may tell you not to wear the you-know-whats, but give us a few days and we'll beg you to. Depend on the science. Without the amenities that the Sanford family had, without their devices and their distractions, they're lost. In a real cyber attack, the Sanford family would never survive. Why? They can't work together. They can't depend on one another. Nobody can do anything. We are living in these uncertain times. And brothers and sisters, we will face another crisis very soon. But do not believe what Leave the World has taught you, that we are afraid and helpless. Because we actually do have control over a few key things. We don't have to be like the Sanfords, desperately needing a government. Our forefathers didn't need a government when the Indians attacked them. They came together. We must begin cultivating a loving, cohesive, faith-filled family and a society by spending time with one another, being patient with one another, recognizing the value of each family member. And do not surrender to the fear porn. Especially the only people that have to surrender to fear porn are those that are not grounded on the Word of God. Listen to me. If you are not grounded in truth, you will be crushed with lies. Ground your feet in truth and become like a tree planted by the river of water. I shall not be moved. When you surrender to Christ, you cannot surrender to fear porn. When you surrender to the Word of God, you will never be afraid of anything. Yeshua the Messiah over and over and over said, fear not. They want you to fear. Why? Because they do not want you to believe that Yahweh the Creator is in control. No. These elites want to usher in a new religion of humanism. They want you to know that lesser humans must trust in greater humans or specialists or experts. The little people must learn to trust in the big people. But to get you there, we must make you afraid, very afraid. I want you to look me in the eyes and I want to tell you something. When I was laid flat on my back with COVID-19, when I couldn't breathe and grasping for breath, I want you to hear my words. There wasn't one iota of fear in my mind because I knew that if the Almighty God allowed me to draw one last breath, I would go into His safe, loving arms until the resurrection. I had no fear. They hate your faith because it leaves no room for their fear. You need to know this. If everything in the world fell apart tonight, don't let your faith fall apart. That is all you have left to stand on, is faith, not in humans, not in mankind, but in an almighty God. And that's why they, the elites, they, the government, they, the deep state, must silence voices like mine. That's why YouTube is waiting. As a matter of fact, since I've mentioned COVID tonight, they may give me a second strike tonight, and you may not see me on here on YouTube for 2 weeks. That's why you need to go right now. Right now, you need to go and join my mailing list so you know where we are. They're fixing to take us down. It won't be very long. Why? Because they must silence our voices. If you want to join the mailing list, there's the instructions. Get your phone and text the word join, followed by your email address to that phone number. Do it now. Why? Because voices like mine must be identified and eradicated. If you don't believe I'm telling you the truth, I'm going to play it for you right now. This is what Obama says about people like me.
Understand, it's not necessary for people to believe disinformation in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe.
Listen closely. You better listen closely. Citizens no longer know what to believe.
They lose trust in their leaders.
Voices like mine cause them to lose trust in their leaders.
In mainstream media.
Did you hear him? We cause you to lose trust in mainstream media. Not allowed. Not allowed.
In political institutions.
You lose trust in political institutions. Perish the thought, how dare you even question the empire?
In each other.
They lose trust in each other. And a good pregnant pause from Barack.
In the possibility of truth.
They lose confidence in the possibility of truth. They no longer trust the lies.
The game's won.
And the game is won. Did you hear him? The game is won. If we can persuade you not to believe in your leaders, not to believe in your government, the game is won. Now you understand why they have to take us out of the game. Is anybody awake out there? If you're all going to sleep on me tonight, I'm pulling back the curtain, darling. That's what Professor Toto does. I don't bring you down rabbit holes, baby. We don't chase after JFK and Dale Earnhardt around here. No. We find the truth and we reveal the source. George Wages wants to know if I hate Joe Biden. Oh, God, no. I pray every day for him. I hate the demons that control his mind. Folks, did you hear what Obama just said? Whoever can convince is who wins the war. He confesses this is a war. And the reason he hates voices like mine is because of what I'm about to show you. I want you to read this article on your screen. I want to show you the fear porn. The glaciers are collapsing. All the glaciers in Greenland are rapidly melting. The Pennsylvania Sunday Courier reported. It may without exaggeration be said that the glaciers, like those in Norway, face the possibility of catastrophic collapse. In fact, but there's a problem. I'm not going to read all of it. I'd like for you to look a little higher. That was written in 1939. Fear porn. Why won't you trust your leaders? This was mainstream media, the Sunday Courier. Why won't you trust your leaders? Oh, little sheeple, trust your leaders. I'd like to take you on a journey, if I may, to 1947. The oceans will inundate us. Fear porn. 1958, ships will sail over the North Pole. They predict there that by the 1960s, There'll be nothing left. 1967, world famine unavoidable. They said it would happen by 1975. And then they make fun of us for predicting the Lord's coming back. Oh, pitiful ones. 1970, a new ice age is upon us. And they predict it would happen by the 21st century. The next time they make fun of you and the church for predicting Yeshua is going to return and he does it, bring them over here to their little stupid stuff. Let's go to 1970. Expect water and food rationing. By 1974, they were supposed to start rationing water. And 1980, all food would be rationed. 1971, disastrous new ice age is coming. They said it was 50 years away. See, they have a religion and they are preachers. This sounds like a Sunday night sermon, calling people to the altar. That's a church you're looking at, children. That's the church of humanism. 1972, we have 10 years to stop the catastrophe. 1972, we're going to freeze. Ice age coming fast. Space satellites show new ice age coming fast. 1974, ice age signs everywhere. Come to the altar now and convert to humanism. Trust in our satellites and our science, so-called. Raise your hand and say, I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be in the ice age. Come quickly to the altar of humanism. Bow down and do what we tell you to do. 1978, no end in sight to the cooling trend. 1979, the North Pole is melting. Oh, sinner, run. Oh, sinner, run. Oh, you conservative, hard to convince people, run to the altar of humanism. Come while you can. You're about out of time. 19. Mustafa Tolba said there was about to be an environmental holocaust in 1982. He said by the year 2000, it was over. Do you remember when they mocked the church for talking about the year 2000? Their church was doing the same thing. 1988, the Maldives will be gone by 1992. 1989, entire nations by the year 2000 will be underwater. The year 2000, children will not know what snow is. 2001, in 20 years, no maple syrup in New England. Run, sinner, run. 2004, by 2020, European cities underwater. 2006, greenhouse gases will kill us in 10 years. Run, conservative, hard head, independent thinking unbeliever. 2007, after 2012, it's too late. 2007, ice-free Arctic Ocean by 2010. Then another one said by 2013. 2008, the Arctic will all melt away. The North Pole will have no ice in 2008. 2008, the Arctic will be ice-free in 5 to 10 years. 2009, ice-free Arctic Ocean as soon as 2014. Come, sinner, run while you can. 2012, no snow by 2020. It'll all be gone. 2013, ice-free Arctic in 2 years. No more snow. And this is a picture of snow right now in New York. 2017, we will become like Venus at 250 degrees Celsius. Because why? Trump pulled us out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Physicist Stephen Hawking said, we're close to the tipping point where global warming becomes irreversible. Trump's actions push the earth over the brink to become like Venus. Oh, sinner, would you come? With a temperature of 250 degrees and raining fire and brimstone, would y'all come? "2017, climate change will end snow. 2018, no permanent Arctic ice by 2022. 2020, the end of snow. And yet, in 21 and 22, there was no lack of snow in Australia. No snow in California in 2021. And then UC Berkeley announced that California had the snowiest December on record. 2022, the end of snow. A few months later, the Sierra Nevada mountains had its second snowiest winter on record. 2023, Arctic ice, irreversible. All lies, all fear porn, and every bit of it, doctrines of demons. Why? Because they want the lesser humans to trust in the better humans. Matter of fact, don't trust any humans, trust us. Don't trust the Word of God. Don't trust your little backwards country preacher. And don't trust Psalms 37:29 that says the righteous will possess the earth and they will live on it forever. No, don't trust that. It's going to all be destroyed. And your church is no better. Your church teaches you the earth is going to be the end of the world. The Bible never spoke of an end of the world, ever. Come out of Babylon and find a preacher that'll give you the truth. Don't believe Psalms 104 in verse 5 that said Yahweh established the earth on its foundations. It will not be moved from its place forever and ever. And don't believe Ecclesiastes 1:4, the earth will remain forever. How does that line up with your church telling you God's going to destroy the earth? Oh, poppycock, hopplesquatch, tomfoolery. This is Yahweh's masterpiece. Oh, he's sending his son to restore it all along with his church. Hallelujah. Don't believe Isaiah 45:18 that says the one who formed the earth, its maker, who firmly established it, did not create it for nothing, but he formed it to be inhabited. He didn't form it to destroy it. Don't believe Revelations 5:10. And he has made us kings unto our God, and we shall reign on the earth forever. What? We're going to reign over a Sahara desert? America, listen to me tonight. Get rid of the fear porn. America was created to be a shining city on a hill. And now we're blasting the earth with evil. It is in these hours that our voices of truth are the final sabers in the battle between the empire and the republic. They wish to tire us down, to make us afraid, to lean on them. But until I close my eyes in death, I will lean on none other but Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. You can be free from the fear of tomorrow. You can know that soon and very soon, the God and the creator of all mankind will send his son to restore this planet to its original glory. You have no reason to fear. You have no reason to cry. You, my beloved friend, are the only ones in a world of sinking sand that stands on the mighty rock of Gibraltar. Now rejoice in the Lord always. Fear not, little ones, for greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. His truth will always trump their lies. God bless you tonight. I ask not for riches. I ask not for fame. I ask for the nations in Jesus' name. I ask for America. I call her by name. I present her to the Father in Jesus' name. I ask for America. I call her by name. I present her to the Father in Jesus' name. With the congregation sing, I ask for America. I ask for